Tonight, we journey through castle shadows and quiet villages to uncover the ultimate medieval forbidden love. Stories they didn't want you to know. These aren't just pages in a dusty chronicle. They are reminders that love can survive the tightest gates, the sharpest blades, and the most rigid codes. And yes, they offer tips, not rules, for daring hearts who still believe in tenderness. In the first tale, a knight rides under a pale moon to the edge of a riverside town where a loom sighs with the weight of waiting. A young weaver named Mara threads gold into the cloth, and the knight, sworn to a cause far larger than his own heartbeat, slows his horse to listen to the shuttle's rhythm. The two exchange a secret smile, a borrowed hour when the world forgets oaths. The tip hidden here is simple: let small acts of care speak when grand vows whisper too loudly. The second story travels to a monastery cloister where a scholar and a monk's daughter meet in the sunlit garden, cataloging herbs and letters the wind won't carry. They write each other in margins, between lists of plants and prayers. And the world calls their connection a forbidden draft, a risk to reputation. Yet in every whispered page turn, they discover a truth. Knowledge hums closer to truth when curiosity becomes trust. The tip? Nurture understanding before you crave certainty, and you'll find doors opening where you once saw walls. A whispered tragedy threads through a seaside keep, where a singer's voice travels farther than any sword. A guard, loyal to his post, hears a melody echoing through the stairwell and discovers the singer is the daughter of the lord who rules the harbor. Their meetings happen in stairwell alcoves and the space between two sea-salted breaths. They learn that safety isn't only in keeping a secret, but in choosing when to reveal it. The tip here: choose the moment you reveal your truth, not the moment your truth chooses you. In a hilltop village, a healer nurses a wounded knight and finds his legend is less about battles and more about listening to the quiet ache behind bravado. They trade recipes for tinctures and stories about home, discovering that healing is a kind of telling. The romance grows not through grand declarations but through consistency, like tending a flame until it becomes a warm glow rather than a flare. The tip? Consistency is a love language. Show up with gentleness when power forgets to. Now imagine a royal masquerade, where a princess disguised as a dancer brushes past a guard who knows her by the way her steps remember the old songs. Their glances hang above the crowd, two stories colliding in a single breath. They barter a vow in a language only letters and moonlight can translate, no oath to pen, no promise to kiss in front of a crowd, just a quiet pledge to keep the other safe and seen. The tip here: let trust be the mask you keep when others demand a costume. The heart of these chronicles isn't the scandal. It's the stubborn spark that refuses to go out when the rain of gossip beats down. There is a tale in which a tanner's apprentice loves a miller's daughter, and they meet beneath a bridge where the river remembers every name whispered into the water. They barter a single token, a scraped coin, a thread, a carved feather reenacting an ancient ritual that says, "I see you, and I am here." The tip? Small signs become the map that guides two people home when the world grows loud. At the edge of a forest, a painter and a castle stablesman discover color in the pale light of dawn. The painter's canvas captures more than color. It captures the tremor of a heartbeat in the chest of a man who was taught to remain rigid as the battlements. They learn to negotiate a future without breaking the past. Keep traditions alive by weaving new rituals of care into them. The tip? Let your love refine tradition, not erase it. A final thread comes from a nursemaid who tends to a prince who never wanted to be prince. She learns his burdens are not his alone and that crowns fall soft when someone stands in the shadow of duty and chooses gentleness. They exchange letters written in soot and candle wax, then burn nothing but fear. Their story teaches that real courage is not conquering fear alone but sharing it until it loses its sting. The tip? Vulnerability is a bridge, not a breach, crossed together even when the current pulls. As these stories braid together, something emerges. Forbidden love is not a crime so much as a quiet rebellion against despair. The walls of stone aren't only guardians of power. They mirror the walls we raise around our own hearts. And yet the brave heart finds a way to breathe life into a room that once seemed forever shut. The moral isn't to break every rule but to listen for the rule that says love deserves a chance. Even when the odds are aligned with gates, heraldry, and rumor. If you've ever stood at a door you weren't meant to open, you'll hear these tales as a soft cadence guiding you to a different choice. The real tips aren't loud or flashy, they are whispered in the spaces between fear and longing. Tip 1 is patience, time can soften steel. Tip 2 is consent, kindness must form the bridge, not the barrier. Tip 3 is discretion, love that is true travels best when it travels light. Tip 4 is presence, show up every day, in small, faithful ways. Until the world notices the glow you've been shaping under your breath. SFX. Candle_flicker, 2 and finally. Perhaps the most important tip of all. The kind that feels like a warm sigh in the early morning, hope. These legends remind us that even in the most rigid corners of history, hearts learn to bend without breaking. They learn to whisper back to a world that insists on loud, public romance with a private, patient devotion. If you're listening for a reason to believe again, here it is: love can be stubborn, yes. But it can also be tender enough to redraw the map. To redraw a future where two souls walk side by side, not as subjects and rulers, but as partners who have earned their place in the light. So carry these tips with you like coins tucked in a seam. Use patience to wait for the right moment. Use discretion to guard what matters. And use presence to prove that your love is not a rumor but a living, growing truth. These are the forbidden stories that were never meant to be forgotten. They were meant to be remembered as promises kept, as candles lit in the wind. As evidence that happiness can endure if we choose to keep faith with each other. And maybe, just maybe, their lessons become your own little map to a kind of happy ending you didn't think possible in a world of stone and shadow. SFX. Soft_chime. 3 If you want more of these whispered legacies, hear us a gentle invitation: slow your pace, listen to the walls, and listen to your own heart. The rest will unfold as it should, with courage, mercy, and an ever brighter belief that love, when tended with care, can bloom where it was not supposed to. And in that blooming, you'll find not just a story but a way of being. A hope that travels with you through every corridor of life. A reminder that even in medieval nights, a true heart can carry the dawn. Before we close, a few more whispers from the margins. Tip 5. Speak with your life, actions echo louder than words. In a bustling a barmaid named Nia slips a folded coin into the pocket of a traveling scribe. A discreet sign that says "I see you." He answers with a careful note tucked into the lace of her apron, a sentence at a time, building trust like stitches in a seam. Their meetings are simple: a shared smile over steam, a borrowed moment between stalls, a plan to meet again where the sun spills gold on cobblestones. The lesson is small but loud: constancy is a quiet rebellion against the noise of rumor. In a near-forgotten village by a mill, a miller's daughter and a wandering minstrel speak in notes carried by the river breeze. Their words are not declarations. They are promises whispered through the rhythm of oars and sails of memory. They learn to read what the other does not say, to honor boundaries while slowly building a road toward trust. Tip 6. Dream in daylight. Not every romance needs a crown, some need a steady, honest light. The forge behind the inn glows, and a blacksmith and a widowed healer stand side by side. Their conversations measuring time in hammer strikes and breath. They share a repair what's broken in the day, mend what's aching in the night, and let the sparks between them illuminate a future that isn't hurried but sure. These little scenes aren't about grand gestures or dramatic fate. They're about the choices that accumulate, the days that prove a love worth believing in. A whispered pact at dawn, a saved seat at a cold church step, A letter hidden in a book. No one would suspect these are the threads that bind two hearts long after a rumor has cooled. Tip 7. If you're counting, nurture a shared rhythm. When two lives move in gentle parallel, the world remembers slower joys and sweeter wins. If you've ever watched a door you weren't supposed to open, you've seen a doorway in these tales that isn't about escape but about belonging. The courage here isn't shouting. It's choosing to stay when the room grows crowded with judgment. Choosing to continue when the crowd calls for certainty. The path isn't flawless, but it's honest. And that honesty is a kind of tenderness the world often ignores. May these later whispers bless your own hours. The ways you carry hope through routine. The small refusals to let fear decide your heart's weather. And if you found a spark in these chronicles, let it become a steady flame, not loud, not flashy, but true enough to guide you home to love that endures. Thank you for listening to these whispered legacies. May they soften your days, steady your courage, and remind you that even in stone and shadow, a patient heart